Hey, hi guys, welcome back. In this series, especially in this today's session, we're gonna talk about EBS storage part. I'm talking about. We will just slightly, little bit touch on that, and I will show you a couple of practical things. What can be done, what cannot be done. Yeah. So the first thing is, if you take any application or any device, there should be a storage, right? So if you take my phone, there should be a storage. If you take my laptop, there should be a storage. If you take any application, there should be a storage. For example, consider this is my, you're watching my laptop here screen, and if you open my computer and then click on this PC, so you will see there is a storage means you can store some data, file, applications, softwares, everything. If you see, there is a storage of hard drive size of 237 GB, yeah, and out of that 15.2 GB are free. Now the volume, we call it as a volume sometimes, or we call it as a C drive. If I have another drive like D or E, maybe you might be having D or E or F. What is a C, D, E, F? It's all the naming, the partition name of the hard drive. So say for example, this is a hard drive and we are making like a pizza, and then you're giving one portion of pizza to C and one portion of pizza to D and one portion of pizza to E and then F, something like that. But in my case, if you see, I have given all my 237 GB to my C drive. I never created another drive like D or E. I did not partition it. Okay. So this is the storage basics. It's very simple. Yeah. Now, the same way in Windows we have this. Even in your machine you might be having C, D or E or F something, or you might be having the same thing what I have now. Now if you go to my let's go and log into the Amazon Linux so that you will understand more. So click on sign into the console. So I'm in North Virginia region, yeah, and I'm clicking on EC2 instances. Great. Now let's do this. Click on launch instance, click on launch instance, and then I'm going to launch an instance in front of you. But in the meantime, if you remember the instances which we have been working on the WordPress, okay, I'm in a different account, guys. I'm clicking on sign out. I'm sorry. So I'm clicking on log back in. Okay, so sign in using root user mail. I'm logging with my ID. Okay, I'm in North Virginia region, clicking on EC2. Great. Now if you see, this is the instance which we've been using, and this is the if you open ownlearning.click, which we have it, it should work without any issues. We have already done this. Okay, now I'm not going to disturb this instance. We will be using this instance for something else, but for now what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch another instance, yeah, and I want to show you how to check this storage thing in this instance. Okay, so for this I'm just giving some name like volume checking instance, something like this. Okay, volume checking instance. Okay, you can give any name. I'm clicking on Amazon AWS and then Linux 2, Amazon Linux 2, and t2.micro key pair login. I'm just choosing proceed without a key pair and click on edit, and click on edit, and then choose the VPC which we have created earlier, and I'm putting it in public 1 US East 1A, and then auto assign public IP, select existing security group. I'm going to give it instance-sg. Okay, here, this is what I was talking about. Now from the day one till now, we never added anything or we never modified anything. Yeah. So if you see, there is something called configure storage. So what is storage? Storage is the one you're defining that how much hard drive or how much drive capacity you are requiring, okay, for this instance. Default it is 8 GB. Okay, so this is the first section is size GB, and the second section is something like what is the type of hard drive, you can say like that. Okay, so we have SSD and we have HDD. Okay, there are two types. Okay, main two types of storage in Amazon. One is SSD and the other one is HDD. In SSD we have four types. Again, in SSD you can see these four types: GP3, GP2, IO1 and IO2. Okay, and in HDD we have two types. One is the cold HDD and the other one is a throughput optimized HDD, and the last one is the magnetic standard, which is also, and the last one is magnetic standard, which is the old legacy format. So Amazon is not recommending to use this volume type or storage type. Okay, so just to let you guys know, we have a storage in Amazon, and that storage we have major two types. One is the SSD and the other one is the HDD. Okay, now what is SSD, what is HDD? In a layman term, SSD will give you high performance and HDD will not give you high performance. That is as simple as it is. Just 10 years or 15 years or 20 years back, we didn't have this SSD concept. If you take my laptop currently, whatever laptop we are getting, or maybe I'll just show you this. See, for example, Amazon no, HP laptop, HP SSD, yeah, SSD 256 GB drive. So if you see this, HP SSD 256. Yeah, click on this, Samsung 250 SATA. So yeah, 256H, this is the advanced format, advanced performance hard drive. We call it as a solid state drive. Okay, so you can type SSD versus HDD. If you type it, maybe see, HDDs are legacy storage technology that use spinning disk or read-write data. SSDs are faster and more power efficient than HDD. So better you do a quick tutorial on this just to understand what is this, yeah, in case if someone asks questions. Now, if you see this, all these four things are SSD. Inside the SSD, we have various categories based on the performance. Again, this SSD GP3, it's a new one. They have arrived, they have put it, Amazon introduced GP3, which is high resilient and very high performance. GP2 is low a little bit. These two things are in different category. We call it as a general purpose. Now, provisioned Iops, we have two options. One is IO1 and IO2. Now, in these two, again, provisioned Iops SSD is used for expecting high level of database transactions. We don't need any latency at all in any application. You can go for these two things. Okay, and for general purpose, just a normal website and minimum databases, you can go for this. And scroll down, and there is something called cold HDD and throughput optimized HDD. Well, these things are kind of older format. Okay, when I say HDD, it's just running on something on magnetic disk, but you cannot put any any high performance applications here. No, if you put that, the output would be very, very less. So what Amazon is suggesting is you can put a big data or any kind of data set related techniques, data set related applications. Okay, so you can put those kind of applications over here in HDD, cold HDD or throughput optimized HDD. Okay, now this is very cheap. Okay, comparatively the SSD part, the HDD is very, very cheap. Okay, cool. Now, in our case, if you see, default we are getting 8 GB of hard drive with the root volume. So when I say root volume, so Samir, what do you mean by root volume? You need to understand this. Root volume is the one which operating system will be installed and all the operating system and bootable files will be there in the root volume. Okay, say for example, in my laptop, in Windows laptop, so I have Windows C. I don't have any other partition like D or E or F. Okay, now in the C drive, I have all my Windows Windows OS related files, all the software related files, everything is there. So I can call this C drive as a root volume. Okay, so likewise, if you go here, I'm going to create an instance. Default, it is getting created. See, you cannot delete it. You cannot delete this root volume. But now, if you click on add new volume, and then you're going to add another 8 GB. You can add any GB, okay? You can add any GB like this. So now, say for example, I'm going to add something like 10 GB of GP3. You can keep it, or you can change this also to GP3. Anything is fine. So you can remove this, the one which you're going to add, but you cannot remove the root volume because this is a C drive. Okay, you cannot do it. So if you click on add new volume, I'm going to click on 10 GB here. Okay, and then GP3, remember that. Okay, and this one we call it as a EBS volume, which is nothing but elastic block storage. Okay, elastic block storage, we call it as a EBS volume. Okay, when I say EBS volume, what happens is it acts like a hard drive. You have to format it, you have to create a file system, you have to mount it. If you remember these concepts are very, very basic concepts. When we introduce the Windows 95, Windows 98 and Windows XP, what we normally do is we will get a hard drive, and then we will partition it, and then we will make a file system like NTFS, if you remember that, and then we will mount it. So likewise, this elastic block storage is something like similar to that. You can create a volume by adding a required capacity, just like how we are doing right now is we are adding a 10 GB. So we're going to have two volumes. One is the root volume and the other one is the normal data volume. You call it as a EBS volume. Okay. Now scroll down, and I'm going to add the instance profile, session manager control. So I'm going to create an instance, and I will have two volumes. Remember, one is the root volume and the other one is the EBS volume. Okay, so I'm going to click on launch instance. Now instances will be launched. Great. If you click on this, so as soon as you click on create launch, it will be in a pending mode. Okay, cool. Now the next thing is what happens is, okay, I want to show you something. If you remember the instances which we've been working on for our website, yeah, and I'm gonna click on storage here. If you see, we have only one volume called root volume. This is the only one which we have it. So only one we have it. Okay, but now if you click on our new instance which we are creating, we are getting two volumes. One is the root volume 8 GB and the other one is a 10 GB. Okay, remember that. Now the next thing is, Samir, you can ask me, okay, if you see this, there is something called device name /dev/xvda/dev/sdb. What is this, Samir? Yeah, even if you go to this another instance, there will be something called /dev/xvda. This is same. If you click on this, here also /dev/xvda. So if you see, there is some similarity. For every instance, the root device, right, it is having the same device name. Okay, but if you're creating another volumes, the names will get differ, which we will see it now. Okay, so who decides these kind of device name? Yeah, we can Linux. Okay, if you click on this website, yeah, device names on Linux instance, if you scroll down, okay, there are okay, before that I want to talk about something real quick. Okay, maybe I will just touch base on this. I hope everybody know what is virtualization. Yeah, so virtualization is a technique of for example, I'll just tell you an idea about it. Okay, and I'm not gonna go so deep into that. Okay, say for example, I have a host machine. Yeah, what is my host machine? This is my host machine. My laptop, it's a host machine. And what is the version I'm running? WinVer, Windows 11. Okay, now if I apply a virtualization technique on my laptop by installing a software, virtualization software, or maybe I have integrated a chip, virtualization kind of magic chip into that, then what happens is my host machine will be Windows 11, that is this one. But from that, after I make a magic of virtualization, I can launch any other guest machine. When I say guest machine, for example, this is one of the Oracle VM virtual box. Okay, maybe I don't have any machine. Yeah, I have machine. I'm sorry. So this is the, see, my host machine is Windows, but using this VM VirtualBox virtualization software, I can launch any other operating system. I call it as a guest operating system. Ubuntu is my guest operating system. Yeah, I can launch another machine if I have, say, new, and then I can launch whatever name I want to give. And if you want Windows, if you want Linux, if you want Fedora Linux or some other Linux, you can Arc Linux, anything you can do. Or if you want Solaris or BSD, these are all the different OS which I can create it with the help of this VirtualBox Manager, Oracle VM. So now Amazon uses this virtualization techniques. Okay, so there are two virtualization type they have. One is the paravirtual and the other one is a HVM. Okay, now paravirtual, no one is using it, only the HVM they are using it. Okay. So here you can see that there are two types of virtualization available for Linux instances. Remember that. One is paravirtual and the other one is a hardware virtual machine, HVM. So virtualization type of one is determined by the AMI used to launch the instance. All instance types support HVM AMIs. Now come back here. Now say for example, now refresh my screen. Okay, so this instance is launched, but I want to show you something. When you click on launch instance, just scroll down, and then here we are choosing Amazon Linux. But if you see, there is something called virtualization here. Do you see that? So if you see a virtualization there, see this? I'm just talking about here, virtualization. It is HVM. Right? So likewise, if you see all the AMI, see all the AMI, everything will be HVM. You will not see PV. I'm going for Mac OS. See virtualization, everything is HVM. Ubuntu, everything is HVM. No PV. Windows, all the things are HVM only. Okay. Red Hat, again HVM. SUSE Linux, HVM. Debian, confirm changes, that is also HVM. So what we understood right now is HVM is the advanced virtualization methodology which Amazon uses. Now you can ask me what is the advantage of HVM? I'm not going to go deep into that, but in a layman term, HVM is the one which gives you more performance. That's why Amazon has adopted already the HVM virtualization technique. You don't need to know about paravirtual, but it's always good to study that. Okay, cool. Now, since we are using Amazon Linux 2, which is running on HVM virtualization methodology, now if you scroll down, our storage depends on this AMI. So the AMI which we have chosen is HVM one. If you see this now, reserved for root. If you remember, what is our root device? This is the one. So /dev/xvda. If you come here, see this /dev/xvda. If you see this path, then it means that it is a root device. /dev/xvda. Remember that. Yeah. Now, after that, for all other EBS volumes, either it can come from /dev/sdfg/p, or it can come like /dev/sda or sdb or sdc, something like that. Okay, so that is the name you are getting it here. You can see here, see the root device comes default /dev/xvda. Now you can ask me, Samir, why they have given xvda? Yes, xvda is nothing but it's a, I hope everyone might have heard about something called Zen hypervisor. So Zen is a computer software which is primarily they are manufacturing this virtualization software. Okay, so this xvda is also a kind of component. If you type xvda, XVDA. If you type enter, it will tell you, see this, yeah, see this, Zen virtual disk. So it's just a name they have given, nothing else, guys. It is just a name they have given. XVDA means something like this. That's it. Okay, we don't need to go deep into that research mode, but understand how they are deriving the device name. That's it. And when you see /dev/xvda, it means that it is a root device volume. See this, both /dev/xvda, here also /dev/xvda. Perfect. Now the next thing what I'm going to do is, yeah, we have created an instance and we have 2 volumes. Perfect. Now I'm going to click on connect. Now click on connect. Great. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna update my repo here. So sudo yum space update -y is for yes. Okay, if I'm not giving -y, you know what will happen, right? So it will ask you to type -y again. Is this okay to do update all these repos? I'm just saying yes. Instead of instead of not typing y here, I'm just typing in the first command itself so that it will not ask. Okay, just an idea on that. Now I will update the repos. So what is the next step? Okay, in order to see the next step, I have a workshop repo, and then there is something called extending EBS volume. So when you click on this extended EBS volume, we're going to take some commands out of it, but just follow me what I'm doing. Yeah. Now I'm clearing the screen. The first thing, if you remember, we have 2 volumes, guys. One is the root volume and the other one is the EBS volume, or you can call it as a data volume, anything you can call. Okay, before I come here, I want to go back, and then I'm clicking on instances, and then I'm clicking on volume checking instances, and I'm clicking on storage, and here there are 2 IDs, right? And this is the 10 GB is my external, the one which I created, which I added. I call it as a data volume. We can call it as a data volume going forward. Yeah. So just click on this volume ID. Yeah. When you click on the volume ID, it will come here into your volume section. If you, on the left side, if you see under Elastic Block Store, it will come here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give like this, data volume tutorial, something like this. Yeah. Data volume tutorial, something like this. I have tagged it. Okay, cool. Now I'm going back to my, yeah, this is done. Now come back to your terminal. Now, the first command, okay, lsblk. Okay, so list the bulk storage or block storage. We call it as a block storage. List the block storage. ls means ls list block storage. It's a short form. Now, what happens here is, if you remember, how many hard drives do we have in this instance? I'm clicking on the instance, I'm clicking on this instance, and then clicking on storage. Here, if you see, there are 2 hard drives. Yeah, one is a 8 GB and the other one is a 10 GB. So here, if you see, so one is the 8 GB and the other one is a 10 GB. Okay, now you can ask me, Samir, why you have 2 8 GB? Yes, I'll tell you. So this is the entire volume of 8 GB. In this entire volume, we are partitioning the entire volume of 8 GB total. In case if you partition 4 GB as XVDA1, and then there is another partition XVDA2 for 4 GB, that is also possible. But for now, this is a total. In the total, you are occupying the entire total as 8 GB. This is one thing. Okay. Now the next thing is, this is the next thing, the 10 GB one which we have added. Okay. And this shows 10 GB we have it. Okay. The first thing. Okay. First thing, whenever in Linux I'm talking about, okay, you have to check whether that particular volume is occupied with the file system or not. First thing, always remember, for that what we do is sudo space file -s, and then you have to type /dev/xvdb. So the /dev will default, you have to add it in front of your this name, the volume name, and then if you hit enter, if you get this message, it means this particular volume is not yet created any file system. If you do the same thing in your root device, see this, -s / dev / xvda1. See, you're getting something. What does it say? It says XFS file system block, these many blocks and these many INOS, and these things are coming up. If you see this, it means that yes, there is a file system name called XFS. Now if you ask me, Samir, what is the file system, why do we have it? Yes, that is a procedure in Linux. If you're creating a volume, you need to have a file system. That is the #1 rule, guys. Remember that. Yeah, now you can ask me, Samir, what are the different file systems we have? Yeah, so XFS, see, XFS versus, if you type, you have something called ext4 also, versus BTRFS, versus the ZFS. So a lot of file systems we have. Okay, now each and every file system is having their own performance metrics, and one file system will make the input and output operations very faster, and another file system will make caching very faster, something like this. Okay, but we don't need to worry about much on this, but just understand there are file systems available. Okay, now see this, for example, XFS is for large volume of data, and BTRFS is for something else, and this is for, and ZFS is for mainframes. Okay, and ext4, where is ext4? Do we have ext4? Okay, ext4. See, best for personal projects, makes it very reliable and robust system, given that ext4 is best for small office, home, and so various file systems are available. Now you can ask me, Samir, what is a root file system, root volume XFS? Default, Amazon is giving XFS file format, file system in their root device. Okay, so what we understood right now, I just want to give you lsblk. So we got drive. Now sudo space file -s. This is a command, and if you type xvda1, oh, I'm sorry, sudo file -s / dev / xvda1. Remember that. Okay, it has a file system of XFS file system. Now I'm gonna give sudo file -s / dev / xvdb. If you get this message, it means that there is no file system. You have to create a file system. Now next step is we're going to create a file system. So sudo mkfs, and then you have to give a specific file system. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give XFS for now, or you can give a ext3 or ext4, but for now I'm just going to give sudo space mkfs space XFS space, and then you have to type the name of that volume from the screen. So /dev / xvdb, this one, xvdb. For you it would be different, guys, remember that. For you it would be completely different. Okay, now if you type enter, okay, it just gives a message. Let me see the syntax. So what is the syntax for this? Yeah, see this -t is missing. You have to give a -t when you're doing it. That is another lesson for us. So sudo mkfs -t xfs /dev / xvdb, enter. Now file system has been created. The magic has happened. Now what is the next step? So the next step is, if you type lsblk, you won't see much changes. It's just default. But where will you change, where will you see the changes is sudo space file space -s, then /dev / then xvdb, this one. Now if you type, you won't get that data message. See, now see, you're getting something bigger, which means that you created this as a XFS file system. Good. Now this is done. Now we are good. Now the next thing, if you remember, lsblk, okay, list the block storage. Remember this command. lsblk will give you the list of hard drives or list of volumes attached to this particular instance. Now next thing is, look at the last column, guys, mount point. Yeah, what is this mount point? So mount point is the one where you have to create the mount point and map it to the particular volume. Say for example, say for example, you have this Bluetooth, right? Yeah, so you can see this Bluetooth. Yeah. Now what I'm going to do here, okay, not the Bluetooth, guys, maybe I will. Okay, I got a paper here. See guys, no, not the paper, I'm sorry. I'll just do it in the whiteboard itself. Better. Okay, cool. Okay, what I'm trying to explain to you here is, say for example, this is the hard drive, guys. Okay, consider this is our, drive, and inside this, okay, there are two volumes. I can do like this. Okay, there are two volumes. Yeah, so this is the root ROOT, and this is my another. This is the 8 GB. Yeah, and this is the data volume, and which is a 10 GB. Okay, now if you understand this, yeah, so now if you understand this very clearly, you will get more idea. Now the root device, right? I'm just switching back to my instance. Now if you see this right here, this is the slash. Okay, slash is your root directory. Now what we have done here is this root, this volume, right? This root volume is mapped to this slash. Okay, so this slash, under this slash, right, under this root, if you type pwd, you are in slash home slash e. So I'm going to this slash right now. Okay, so cd space slash. So if you type present where you are here. Now if you type ls minus lrt, all these things are files and directories. Okay, now if you type lsblk, so what we have done is this particular root drive, root volume is mapped to the entire slash. Now what we are going to do is we are going to create something here called slash data, and then we're going to map it to that data, the mount point. I'm talking about this as a mount point, MP. I'll show it to you to understand better. Now just remember this, guys. Currently, okay, let me clear the screen. So lsblk, if you see this, what is the mount point for our root drive? Slash, the root directory. Now, do we have any mount point for our data drive, data volume 10 GB? No, we don't have any, it's empty. So that's what we're gonna do. What we're gonna do is sudo mkdir slash data. So now if you type ls minus lrt, there would be a directory called data is created today. Okay, now if you type lsblk again, nothing is there. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do something called mounting. Mounting means mapping. So sudo space mount space slash, let's see the syntax. So this is the syntax, sudo space. Okay, here you have to put the name of your volume name. Okay, so here if you type sudo space mount space, sorry, sudo space mount space slash dev slash xvdb, I'm going to mount this volume name into the slash data directory. So now if you type lsblk, see this, now you got the slash data. Yeah, great. So this is the, so we created a file system and then we mounted the directory. Now we will not be having any issues at all, because now we have created and everything is running. So even if you go to cd slash data ls, so here if you type touch testing.html something, okay, sudo touch test.txt something. Yeah, so if you type ls, so you will be able to create a file, create a system and everything. So this is possible. Perfect. So you guys know what we have done, how we have created it. Now what we will do here is we will be extending the file size from 10 GB to something like 20 GB. How is it possible? So that's what this tutorial all about. But anyways, we have covered a couple of other things which is good. Okay, before that, I want to tell you something. Let's do something here. I'm going to reboot the instance, guys. Okay, so let's say this is an instance, yeah, and then I'm clicking on instance and I'm clicking on reboot the instance. So I've rebooted the instance, successfully rebooted, yeah. Now I'm closing this and then I'm gonna click on instance again and click on connect and click on connect. So instance will be connected, establishing the connection. Okay, it's taking some time. Let's wait. Failed to connect to instance. Config correctly. Wow, interesting. Let's see what is going wrong. So we are here and we are here. 2 or 2 checks passed. Everything is fine. Public IP address is there. So if you hit on connect, it should work. Click on connect. I'll try with session manager is also not coming up. There is something definitely wrong, guys. Okay, maybe it's taking some time. It took some time, sorry. Cool. Now, if you type lsblk, just see what happened. Just few minutes back, we mounted the slash data. Now it is gone. Okay, so the problem here is if you want to make that permanent, you have to do some magic here. Okay, if your device is stopped or if your device is restarted and then you want the mount point should automatically come up with every restart or with every stopped, then you have to do a little bit of more work. Okay, so for that what we have to do here is there is a couple of files which you have to change it, okay, which I have mentioned it here. Okay, 1 minute, I will just edit this file name just to make sure that you are aware of it. What we have done here is, okay, here you have to type your volume name, okay, that is very important. Cool. Now there is a section which I mentioned, automatically mount an attached volume after reboot. So this is very important, and what we are going to do here is, here I want you guys to check this file. Okay, so if you type if you type cat etc sudo space cat space /etc/fstab, if you do that, see this, there is a file called fstab, okay, file system tab, and then here this is the UUID. A specific unique ID is being given to the each volume. Okay, now if you see this UUID, the one which you're seeing on your screen, this UUID has been given to the slash means has been given to the root directory with the file system of XFS. Okay, and defaults NOA time is all system default, you don't need to worry about that, and 11 is for to denote like it is a root device. Okay, now here we have to add the UUID of the volume, the new volume in the sense this is the volume. See this, I'm talking about this volume. We have to find the UUID of this volume, and we need to add that UUID in the fstab file, in this fstab file. Okay, so that is what we're gonna do it right now. So how do you find the UUID of this volume? Okay, for that there is a command here. If you scroll up, no, down here a little bit. Okay, see this sudo space block ID. So if you type this sudo space block ID, you will see 2 IDs coming up. So the first ID is for the root device. See, label is slash and type is XFS, all these things. Okay, now the second one is for this XVDB. For this one, XVDB, this is a UID. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this line, okay, and right click and then copy, and I'm going to open my notepad. Yeah, now okay, so we have got the UUID of this XVDB. So what we are going to do is we're gonna do these changes. Okay, so remember that uh, this one automatic from here. Yeah, from here you have to start from the 40th line. Okay, so for that you have to run this command. So what we are doing here is, before we modifying anything wrong, we are always taking a backup of this fstab file. So if you run this file, sudo space copy /etc/fstab, it will be copied to /etc/fstab.original. If you type enter, it will be done. If you go to sudo cd/etc, so you will find a file called sudo, okay, where am I, cd/etc, yeah, so cd/, okay, if you type, there is a file called, see this, fstab is there, and we have moved it to, we have copied and pasted fstab.original. In case, because we are going to modify something over here, in case if this goes wrong, we can always back it up from here. That is why we are doing that experiment. Okay, perfect. Now the next thing is, we have done that. Now the next thing is, so if you see, we are going to perform this one. Okay, sudo vim/etc/fstab. Okay, now let's go back, paste as plain text. Now here, this is a file which we are going to do is, so you have to go there, and then next line, just type uuid is equal to, and then if you remember, we already copied the notepad, in the notepad the uuid, copy that and then paste it, right? And here, what is the mount point? What is the directory? If you remember, I'm going to give /data as my mount point. And what is the file system? XFS. And then you have to give defaults, comma, and then here you should not give NOA time. Okay, NOA time, it's only for the root device. For this one, you have to give something like, which I have mentioned here, it should be no fail. Okay, here if you see, there is something called no fail. Okay, so just type it, no fail, yeah, NOFAIL space, and then I've also added the numbers. What are the numbers you have to give? So the numbers you have to give 0 space 2. Okay, so 0 space 2. Now you can ask me, Sami, why you have to give 0 space 2? Okay, 0 is to it just to make sure that file systems will not be dumped. Okay, and the 2 is for if you are given 1 here, which means that it is for the root device. 1 is only for the root device, 2 is for your EBS storage. Remember that. Okay, cool. Now escape shift ZZ, it will come up, saved, that is done. Okay, if you want to see whether it's there or not, cat etc fstab, see, it's already added right now. Okay, now if you want to see whether it's really working or not, I'll tell you. Okay, so right now lsblk, it's there, but we did not mount it yet. So what we're gonna do here is, but before that I want to check whether whatever file system we created is available or not. So I'm just running this command xvdb. Okay, file system is there, only thing is mounting is a problem. So sudo space mount space /dev/xvdb//data. So now if you type lsblk, so it is done. Perfect. Now what we are going to do here is, if you type cd/data ls, okay, test.txt is also there. Okay, perfect. So remember guys, mount point, everything is there. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to okay, before that, let me try to sudo umount. Okay, and if you see, the command is there actually, sudo umount. Umount means unmount, unmap it. I'm unmapping the data. Target is busy because I'm inside the target, see, /data. Let me come back, and then sudo umount /data. Okay, now if you type lsblk, see, /data is gone, /data is gone. Right now what you do is sudo mount -a, and then mount -a means whatever you unmounted, it will be mounted, everything will be mounted. Okay, now if you type lsblk, okay, /data is there. Okay, you understood the principle, right? Now click on instance and click on reboot instance. When you click on reboot instance, I'm closing this tab. Okay, let the instance be rebooted. This time when you type lsblk, you should see the mount point /data automatically comes up. That's very important. Okay, So let's see that. Let me click on connect. I'm clicking on connect. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just checking my phone. So, okay. So you know this. You have to wait for a minute or two to come up. Okay, great. Now let's see what's happening really. Okay, now see, even after you reboot the system, you have this mount point data is available. So if you even if you type cd/data, you will see that this thing is there. Even if you stop the instance, see, let's do that experiment as well. If you click on instance, if you click on stop instance, yeah, I'm stopping the instance. So let's wait for a minute. Yeah, so the instance is stopped. Yeah, instance is stopped. Yeah, now I'm gonna click on start the instance again. Let's give it a minute. Great, now if you see the instance is in initializing mode, but in the meantime let me try to connect it. Yeah, click on connect. Cool. So let's see what happens now. Now if you type lsblk, wow, so our data is there, mount point is there because we have added our UUID of our volume into that fstab file. So please do this method and try to understand. So perfect, guys. Now this is all fine. The main point of this exercise is how to extend a volume size. Yeah, that is also I'm gonna tell you right now. So currently our volume size of our data volume is 10 GB. Yeah, if you come here, see this, our volume size is 10 GB, right? So 10 GB. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify this volume. I'm making it to 20 GB. So let's see how we're gonna do that. Now before you do that, always make sure, okay, if you go here into this volume, always make sure that you have to take a backup of that volume. So when I say backup of a volume, you have to create a snapshot of a volume. So snapshot is one of the component in Amazon EC2 or inside the storage, where when somebody says do you have a snapshot, it means that do you have a backup, as simple as it is. Okay, so snapshot is very important. Before you do anything with the volume, just do the snapshot. Perfect. Now if you see here, this is the volume which we are using as a data volume for that instance, which is having 10 GB, right? Now if you click on actions, yeah, and then click on create snapshot. But before you click on create snapshot, I want to show you something. Yeah, now here on the left side there is something called snapshots here. Okay, so there are a lot of snapshots that you can see here, right? So I don't want these snapshots here, so I'm just clicking on delete snapshot because that will confuse you. So just clicking on delete snapshots. Now this is also, I don't know when I was created it, 11/9/2022. Thick studio images. Okay, cool. So that is fine. Now this is a snapshot window. So we already have two snapshots. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to coming back to a volume here, and then okay, I do have another 10 GB. I'm not sure when I was created it. Let me go back for the instances because that is very neat and source of truth for me. So I'm clicking on volume checking instances. I'm clicking on storage here. I've got two volumes, okay, 8 GB and 10 GB. I'm going with the 10 GB. Clicking on the volume ID, I got data volume tutorial. Click on this, click on actions, click on modify volume. Sorry, before you click on modify volume, what we are going to do is we're going to create a backup. Why we are creating a backup? Just to make sure if something goes wrong when we are modifying the volume, we can get our data back from the backup, from the snapshot. Okay, so click on create snapshot. When you click on create snapshot, I'm going to give like this data tutorial. Yeah, data tutorial volume backup, something like this, before before extending.
okay, just for easy identification. I'll just type the same thing in the tag also, name tag, yeah, and then click on create snapshot. So when you click on create snapshot, now if you see, you are in the volume section, it says successfully created snapshot with the snapshot ID from this volume. Now if you click on the snapshot ID, it will directly take you to the snapshots. See here, and then it says progress, and then unavailable snapshot status is pending. It will take some time to come up with an available status, maybe a minute or two. Okay, if you click on snapshots here, see here, you will see data. This is the one which is getting created with a 10 GB of hard drive, size. Scroll right, it will be in pending status. It will be in completed status in some time, maybe in a minute, and then it will be completed. Then it will say available 100%. Okay, that is perfect. Oh, see, now it's available 100%, and this is, now we have a backup. Now what we're going to do is we can do anything with the volumes. In case if something goes wrong, we can always take a backup from here, click on actions, create volume, which we will talk about it later. Cool. Going back to the volumes. Now in the volumes, this is the one which I was talking about. Correct. Now click on actions and click on modify volume. Now here what we're going to do is I'm going to give the volume of 20 GB. Right, from 10 GB I'm extending the volume size to 20 GB, because what I feel like, I have created a WordPress website, and I have to load lot of data, lot of input, lot of content, lot of new themes. Then I want to increase the volume size. So how I can increase the volume size? Using this modify volume, I'm increasing the volume size from 10 GB to 20 GB. Now click on modify again, it will be modified. See this data volume, click on refresh. This will say like the volume is being modified. It will immediately tell you 20 GB, but if you scroll right little bit, it will say optimizing mode, which means that it is doing the process. Okay, after it takes a minute or two maximum. Okay, so since we don't have any much data, so it will be done in a minute or two. In the meantime, what I want here is let me go to my instances, and then click on volume checking instance, click on connect, and then click on connect. So when you click on connect, now if you type lsblk, yeah, so you will get like, okay, it have 20 GB of data. It's already came up, it's already increased, it's already showing it up. But the problem here is, if you type, there is another command called df space -h, small h and a capital T. Here it will tell you that, hey, still you're using 10 GB of data. But here it's a physical in the sense it's the size which you have defined in the AWS console. But here if you type df in the sense disk free space, okay, so here it says, see this /dev/xvda/1 is occupying out of 8 GB. Out of 8 GB, used is 1.7 GB. Available to use is 6.4 GB, 21% is used, and the mounted on / means root directory. The next one is /dev/xvdb, which is nothing but this one, XFS file system, and total size is 10 GB. Out of this, 43 MB is used. Available is 10 GB, 1% is only used, /data. Now you remember, even though it shows 20 GB, but still here it's only 10 GB. So we have to extend the file system, in a right manner. So for that, I have added a command already. If you scroll up a little bit, it will tell you, see this 23rd line. Okay, so we created the snapshot and we have modified it, and here I've just given a 16 GB, but here, originally I've given 20 GB here, how we did it in practical. So anything which you can do, no problem. Okay, any numbers you can do it. Okay, so that is done. And then what happens is, here this is the important command to extend the file system. Okay, see this sudo space xfs_growfs -d and then the /data. So control C and then come back here, right click and then paste as plain text, enter. Now file system is really done magic. Okay, now if you type df- sorry, it showed me in small cases Now if you see, earlier it was 10 GB, now it's really 20 GB. See this, really 20 GB. Earlier it was 10 GB, now really is 20 GB. Now we have really extended the file system, guys. Okay, so that's the beauty of it. We have seen this. Make sure that you guys perform the same experiment what I have done. This is very, very important, and this will give you more knowledge on this volume things. Okay, you can do one more thing. Okay, instead of creating a volume when you're launching an instance, you can always go here, click on volumes, and then you can click on create volume, and then you can choose anything, GPU or something, and then I'm giving something like 25 GB. Okay, and then okay, one more thing I want to tell you. Okay, so here if you see, this data volume tutorial is created under which availability zone? 1A. Okay, and then okay, let me go to instances. Okay, this volume checking instance is created under which availability zone? 1A. Make sure your instance and your volumes should be on the same availability zone. If you have created your volumes in a different availability zone, then you cannot map it. That is the basic rules of volumes mapping to the instance. Okay, that is very important. Now let me go back, let me go to volumes, clicking on create volume. I just want to create something, so I'm just making like 8 GB for now, and just scroll down, and here I'm gonna click on something like US East 1F. Okay, now scroll down, and then so data volume hyphen 1F, just for my easy identification. Yeah, and then I'm clicking on create volume. So now the volume is created. Where is this? Yeah, data volume hyphen 1F. Okay, now if you click on actions, okay, what is happening? If you scroll right, it will be creating mode. It is not in available yet. Okay, see this? If you scroll right, is it available now? Yeah, it is available now. See this? It is available now. It is available now. So what you can do here is, if you click on this, click on action, there is something called attach volume. So when you click on attach volume, it will ask you what is the instance. There is no instances running on 1F availability zone. So that is a problem. So you understood what is the issue? So make sure that whatever instances you're creating, you have to create it under the same availability zone. Okay, so both your volume and both your instances should be on the same availability zone. Okay, good. Now I don't want this, so I will just delete the volume. I'll just delete the volume, so that is done. I do see a lot of volumes which are in available state. I don't know what is this. This is volume from Snapshot. I don't want this. Okay, maybe I was using some demo purpose. And there is one more thing, I don't know what is this. Okay, delete volume. Okay, perfect. Okay guys, so we have covered almost everything. Now the next thing I want to show you is, say for example, you remember we have created a snapshot, yeah, data tutorials backup before extending. I will show you something how to create a volume. Say consider our volume was corrupted when we modified the volume. Okay, when we extended the volume, consider it got corrupted. So you want to restore whatever you have backed up. So we have a backed up thing. So I'll select this actions, and then you have to click on create volume from snapshot. So when you click on create volume from snapshot, you can choose what is the volume type. Say for example, I'm choosing something like GP3, and I'm going to give 12 GB something example. And then scroll down. I'm gonna make sure that your availability zone is same as like your instances. I'm gonna keep it instances, and then I'm gonna give a name like this name. Okay, snapshot. Okay, volume from snapshot, something like this for our easy understanding. Yeah, and then click on create volume. Now the volume is getting created. If you go to your volumes here, click on this volume ID. So click on the volumes again just to make sure, and then yeah, see this volume from snapshot. So we are creating a volume from the snapshot. That is also possible, and it is an available status. And what you can do is you can click on actions and then click on attach volume. When you click on attach volume, it will tell you what are all the instances running in the 1A. So you can check this instance, and then you can give, if you want to change the device name also, you can SDE or SDE. Let me see, SDE is working. Click on attach volume. Yes, see, it is attached. Now if you see volume from snapshot, if you see, you have attached to this instance. If you click on this instances again, volume checking instance, you will have 3 volumes. Scroll down, refresh it. So scroll down, come on guys, yeah, click on this and then click on storage. You should have 3 volumes. See, one is 8, one is 20, the other one is 12, which we have added now. Now if you click on connect again and then click on connect, so you have to do a lot of permutations and combinations with these guys. Now if you type lsblk, see, you got something called VDE here, which is a 12 GB, but which is not mounted on this. So you have to perform the same exercise what we have done. So you have to create a file system and you have to mount it and then blah 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 blah. Yeah, so please do this experiment. And also one more thing I want to tell you this. Yeah, say for example you have a volume here, yeah, and this is a data volume tutorial which is in US East 1A. And if you click on actions and if you click on modify volume, you don't have an option to move from 1A to 1B or something. So how is it possible? So how is it possible is you have to create a snapshot first. After you create a snapshot, for example, you'll get a snapshot here. So when you click on, and this is a snapshot, consider, click on this actions, okay, and then you have to click on copy snapshot. When you click on copy snapshot, you can move from different region to different region. Okay, there would be an interview questions also. Will you be able to move a volume from one region to another region? You have to say you cannot directly move a volume from one region to another region. Rather, you have to create a snapshot from the volume and you have to copy the snapshot from one region to another region. That is that is the only option we have. Okay. And then if you click on actions and there is click on modify permissions. When you click on modify permissions, you can add another account, another AWS account, give the account ID, and they will be able to see it as well. Okay, so that is okay. If you guys want, I can do that also. See this, I have another account, aws.amazon.com, clicking on sign in. Click on next. Click on EC2. Okay, before EC2, I just want to know the account ID. Copy this account ID, come back here, okay, and then add account, and then account ID, click on add. Account ID is added, save changes. Now this snapshot, requested snapshot modification. Now what happens is, if I go back to this account and then go back to EC2 and click on snapshots, click on snapshots, and then here if you click on private snapshots, you will see a snapshot which will see the snapshot is already came to my account. No, I'm sorry guys, both the same accounts guys. 1 minute, how come it's changed? 0094, right? Okay, I'm going back here, snapshots. Okay, I'm going to the permissions here. If you go to the modify permissions, okay, maybe I did not add it properly. Yeah, I did not add it properly then. So click on snapshot. Okay, EC2. Okay, let me start from again. 1 minute. Okay, this is that AWS guy, and this is my account. Okay, I'm gonna sign out, guys. I think I've logged in, both the browser with the same account. So I'm clicking on sign into the console. Yeah. and here I'm gonna give it I am user for users. You don't worry about what I'm doing this. I'll explain you these things when I'm talking with the IAM, but for now just follow me. I'm trying to log into a different account, guys. Okay, I want to show you something. So I'm logging into a different account. Okay, now if you click on account ID 6348 something, copying this account, alt tab, and then you come here, and this is the snapshot which I want to go to a different. So if you click on modify permissions and scroll down and click on add account, click on the add account ID, add, and save changes. Now if you just to make sure that whether permissions are there or not, see snapshot is shared only with the editor shared accounts. Okay, this is the account. Now if you alt tab, go back to this one and go to EC2, and then go to snapshots. So when you click on snapshots on the left side here, if you click on private snapshots, so scroll down, you should be getting something. So where is it? Let's try. Yeah, yeah, this is the one. Data tutorial volume backup before extending. So this is in my different account since we have shared it. Yeah, remember that, guys. That is very, very important. So you can do that as well also. The next thing is in the snapshots, let me see. So here if you click on actions, you can create the volume from snapshot, and also you can copy the snapshot from one region to another region. Yeah, and then when you click on create volume from snapshot, here you can mention the different availability zone also. That is also possible, remember that. Okay, and the next thing is if you click on this, click on actions, create image from snapshot, what it says is it just creates a AMI out of the snapshot. That's it. Okay, nothing else. Yeah, so that's all, guys. That's all. We are done for the storage. Little bit we have covered volumes and snapshots. I'll talk about the lifecycle manager when we are doing more experiments with that. Yeah, so please do revisit and do it again and again just to make sure that you're very confident with these things. Yeah, now what I'm going to do is I am going to clean up this activity. So I'm going to click on instances, click on this one, volume checking, and then instance, and I'm going to terminate the instance. So that one would be terminated, and I'm going to go to snapshots. I don't want the snapshot, so I'm going to delete the snapshot, delete it, the one which I've created. Now okay, now see, understand, you have deleted the snapshot. Now I'm going back to the other account where we shared it. Okay, here it was coming up. Do you think if I refresh it, what happens? Will it go? Okay, it is still there, even though if you delete it from the source, once you copied it here, it is this guy's control, it is this guy's account control. So if you refresh it, see, it's not going. Remember that, guys. That is also one more thing. If you see this, yeah, this one is gone, but the one which is pasted to, that's still there. Yeah, that's also another thing, guys. Okay, so but I don't want here also, because unnecessarily my cost will be in trouble. Delete snapshot, so does not exist. Wow, okay, snapshot does not exist, so which means if you refresh it, it is also gone. So yeah, we understood one more thing. So when the source snapshot is getting deleted, the destination snapshot where we paste it to a different region or different account also, it's getting deleted. Remember that. Yeah, cool. Before we wind up, I just want to show you the cost, what's happening with the cost here. Let me go to the billing dashboard. Okay, so I got some amount of total forecast is $3.75. Okay, scroll down. I got something on okay, view your bill. Let me click on view your bill, and this is for which month? This is for September to September. Bill status is pending. Okay, cool. And charges by service. Okay, so route 53 I got 50 cents. Okay, elastic compute I got 0.25. Why? Let me check. What am I doing wrong here? So I got something on Mumbai and I got something on North Virginia. Wow. So if I go for Mumbai, what is the problem? If you go T2 micro, yeah, there is nothing. But if you see, I got it for EBS. So EBS, I got it for 0.03. Why? Means here is a problem. See this? Snapshot data stored. So snapshot is costly, data stored, so that is where the charge is. Good. Now if I click the North Virginia, let me see what is the North Virginia. North Virginia, okay, I was using m5.large instance hour. I got it for 0.02, and also EBS also I got some charge on snapshot. Remember that, guys. Now data transfer, see data transfer, I was moving from here to there, US East North Virginia. Click on this, scroll down, there is something here, see, here's the data transfer to Asia Pacific Singapore. I got some amount. The data transfer is also trouble. CloudWatch I don't have. Okay, rest of the things are nothing. Okay guys, so it was good. Do and practice this more to get your hands on. Make sure that you make your hands dirty, that is very important. So we will see in the next lesson. Thank you.